Okay, we're playing Fukashi. Good luck to you, Fukashi. Let's look at this kingdom. So, draw. I see exactly one source of draw, which is Scrying Pool. Scrying Pool only directly gives you +1 action, but then you read this convoluted text, and basically it's putting at least one card in your hand from the top of your deck. If that card's an action card, it puts the action card in your deck and then checks another card. And if that's an action card, puts another action card in your hand. It keeps drawing until you hit a non-action card. So if you have a bunch of actions in your deck, this can potentially draw you a ton of cards. Plus action, well, we've got Hamlet for plus action. 1 or 2 letters a cantrip, then you can discard a card to get a plus action effect, or a plus buy effect, or both. Throne Room is also plus action. We discussed this in the video on actions. And trashing. Moneylender can trash coppers. Stonemason can trash other stuff. It's not very good at trashing estates though, because you trash an estate if you gain 2 coppers, but like theoretically you could like trash the estate with Stonemason, trash both coppers and Moneylender. More likely we'll use expand to trash estates. It's like a remodel that can get cards costing up to 3 more. The opening. Well, we're probably opening with a potion because Scrying Pool's a key card here. We have plenty of plus buy around. Hamlet, Herbalist, Ducat. So how do we get to... What else are we adding to that? Do we need a silver? Silver is usually the thing you add if you want to hit a key price point, like 5. I don't see any 5 cost cards, so I actually don't think I super care about getting a silver. And so I'm going to buy a Ducat. The reason I undid that was because Ducat has this little effect where when you gain it, you can trash a copper from your hand. So I wanted to leave 1 copper out of play so I could trash that. Ducat's basically just like copper but fancier. It's whenever you play it, you get, instead of 1 coin, you get a coffers, which is like a coin that can be rolled over turn to turn. I think that's kind of good here because there's often going to be hands where we see like, instead of having exactly 2 plus potion, you might have like 3 plus potion or 4 plus potion. We don't necessarily want to, you're going to buy Scrying Pool anyway, so you might as well have a card that can help roll over those extra coins. In fact, I might just do that again. No, I also kind of want to add, I want to add a lot of actions to this deck because that's going to be, this worked out well. So instead of having 3 coppers, we have 2 coppers and a coffer, which can roll over to the next turn. But as I was saying, I don't want to go too heavy on Ducats because our long-term goal here is really just to have a lot of actions in the deck because Scrying Pool can draw actions for us. And so I'm happy to add just tons of Pearl Divers or Hamlets, even if they're doing very little for me otherwise, just because they're cards that Scrying Pool can draw for us. And that's going to be the plan. So like Pearl Diver or Hamlet, they're neutral in their own, right? +1 card, +1 action. Oh, you dog, you. Scrying Pool has an attack we haven't discussed, which is, in addition to checking the top of your deck, it checks the top of your opponent's deck, and you like discard a card from their deck if you don't like it. So they got to play their Scrying Pool before we did. Check the top of our deck. As it happened, Scrying Pool is a very top card, so they just threw it directly into the discard pile. Sad. Now we're about to discuss something interesting though, with this hand. Anyways, come back to the point I was just discussing. These cards are draw neutral in their own. Pearl Diver is basically +1 card, +1 action. It's like entirely neutral because its effect is like very minimal. But the reason these cards are draw neutral is because you spend a draw drawing them. If you have a card like Scrying Pool that just draws any number of actions off the top of your deck, Pearl Diver and Hamlet, etc., aren't really taking up a draw because Scrying Pool is going to draw however many actions there are, whether it's 2 or 10. And so if you're getting your Pearl Diver draws off of Scrying Pool instead of drawing them normally like in your normal 5-card hand, all of a sudden it's not really draw neutral. It's netting you draw because you didn't really spend a draw to get it, and then all of a sudden this +1 card is actually a +1 card. So Stonemason, we hadn't talked about this yet. We talked about the trashing effect. We didn't talk about the on-gain effect. Or not on-gain, on-buy effect. When you buy it, you can overpay and then gain a card costing however much you overpaid by. Now, you might not intuitively think it, but potion is a cost, and so we can overpay by 2 plus potion and then gain 2 Scrying Pools. If we pay 4 plus potion to buy Scrying Pool, to buy Stonemason. And so we're going to do that. We're going to get ahead on Scrying Pools. Now we haven't trashed any of our cards yet, so I'm probably looking to get Moneylender soon. Haha, payback's a bitch, Fukashi. That's right, how do you like your Scrying Pool get discarded? I'm getting too into this. Way of the Butterfly, we haven't discussed this, but you could return a card to gain a card costing exactly 1 more than it. I don't think we'll use that much here. In some kingdoms it's very strong. But like, I value the $2 actions for the most part more than I value having silvers. There's no 5 costs that I could want to turn my Moneylender Throne Room into. There's nothing that costs 3+ potion here that we could turn Scrying Pool into. So they're just kind of like unappealing targets. The one that does look good is we could turn Expand directly into Province. So if we get some Expand, we can think about doing that. I think I'm just going to trash a copper and buy a Moneylender. The reason I trashed copper over estate is because I do want to get thin fast here, and I'm going to discard that. Actually, I shouldn't have discarded that. I'll go back and explain that. I think that was a mistake on my part. If we trash the estate with a stonemason, we have to gain 2 cards costing less, which would be like copper or curse, which both are gross. Whereas there's nothing that costs less than copper, so if we trash copper, we just don't get anything. The reason I think this was a mistake, that discard there, was because plausibly I think the most valuable card in my deck right now is the potion. We want Scrying Pools, and the potion is how we get the Scrying Pools. And so if I discard the duck it and draw on, I trigger a new shuffle, but I know it doesn't have my potion in it. And so I would really like to find my potion. And so it was probably, I'm going to discard for action so I can potentially play both of these if I want to. So it's probably a bad idea to have to draw through all this crap. And then, yeah, sure enough, potions on the bottom. Can't really blame luck for that. As you can see, that was very much self-imposed. I should not have triggered that shuffle. Let's go to Throne Room. Pretty soon, we're probably going to want a quarry or two. This can reduce the cost of stuff, which will make it very easy to gain large numbers of actions very cheaply. Quarry goes very well with plus buy, and we have some plus buy in the form of Hamlet already. Discard the copper. So I did just discuss triggering a shuffle, and I just did the same thing I was talking about. I think it's worth it here just because there's so much other stuff down here, like the ability to trash, that it's worth it, I think, to draw into this, because we trashed a card, we hit 4+ potion instead of 2+ potion, got to buy an extra Scrying Pool. That one I think was worth it. I don't think we're getting enough out of that last play to justify triggering the shuffle. I think we should be looking at getting quarry soon. I want to get to expand because I want to use the expand to trash the estates. Surely they'll take the last 2 Scrying Pools here. So they only took 1. They're not doing the stonemason thing. Maybe they don't realize it. I mean, if they're paying attention to my turns, they should see that it's a thing that you can do. I'm going to draw with the Hamlet first. So the reason being is I didn't know what that last card was. I probably should have, like, theoretically that's knowledge that I could have figured out. There's only 1 card of uncertainty left in the deck. But if I play Scrying Pool, I can check the top card and then discard it if I don't like it. But if it's a bad card, let's say it was an estate, and I discard it, it's going to the discard, and we're immediately triggering a reshuffle, and that estate's back in the deck. Whereas if I play this now, and I find a card, like if this was an estate, and I discarded it, now it's back in the discard after I've shuffled my deck, and so it's not going into this shuffle. And so I'd rather, if there was a bad card there, that it not show up in this shuffle. And so that discard, discarding your Scrying Pool again. You can, this is for me or for them. I can keep this potion. I want to get that last Scrying Pool. Discarding 2 Scrying Pools. Ho ho ho. Revenge is a dish that is delicious. I think that's how that thing goes. Look at all these Scrying Pools I have. Well, you can keep your potion on top because there's not going to be any Scrying Pools left for you to buy next turn. It doesn't really matter whether I discard these or not because I have enough draw to find them all. I could consider, if I have overdraw here, I actually might just go ahead and trash one of these estates now into coppers because coppers are less bad than estates. They at least get me money. And I can draw back to them with the Scrying Pool and the Hamlet. And we'll discard for action, and we'll discard for buy. Do I want to trash this? Let's count. So you have 6 plus potentially 7. I'm taking that last Scrying Pool though. I'd love to leave him with only 3 Scrying Pools. That seems bad for him. I can trash this because the thing I really wanted to buy next was a quarry, and I can afford a quarry. The other nice thing that we hadn't even mentioned about winning the Scrying Pool split, because I didn't really expect to win it so decisively, is Triumphal Arch is worth like 3 points per copy of the second most common action card you have. And so you really want to have basically like 2 stacks of action cards you have a ton of. Well, we've got 1 stack of action cards we got a ton of already. So if we can get like 7 Hamlets or 7 Pearl Divers or whatever, that'll be worth like 21 points. Whereas for him, he's only got 3 Scrying pools, so he's maxed out at 3 copies of 3, so like 9 points, unless he gets like huge amounts of 2 other action piles, which seems hard to do. Because there's not that many other actions you want a ton of here. Alright, we're gonna play the Scrying pool again. Don't need that potion anymore. We're probably gonna trash that potion to Stonemason this turn. Discard. Okay, that's a potion on top. We can get hella of actions and buy here, actually. Let's do this. Discard for action, discard for buy, discard for action, discard for buy. And I'm fine doing that because Scrying Pool can draw all of those. Now let's Stonemason this into, let's get 2 Hamlets. We'll draw all that. Let's do that thing again. Just we don't really need this many actions, do we? But it doesn't really matter because, I mean, no matter how many we discard, they're all actions, so the Scrying Pool's going to draw all of them. Actually, is there a pile out to be had here? So, we have 6 buys already, 5 already plus Ducat. So we can buy 2 Hamlets. There are 8 Throne Rooms left. Now we can get those 2 at a time by overpaying on Stonemason. So after playing this, the costs are going to drop by 2 each. So this will be 0, this will be 2. So we could actually buy Throne Rooms 2 at a time for 2 each, because we buy a Stonemason, overpay by 2, we'll gain 2 Throne Rooms for that. So this costs 8 to empty out. Can we hit 8? Because these will be free. These will also cost 0. So we need 6 buys, because 2 of these plus 4 of these. We have a points lead already, so we don't need to worry about that. So we just need to hit 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be functionally plus 2. If it's plus 3, we have to trash a copper to get it. So that's 6. I can turn the Stonemason into a silver. We have the butterfly effect. The thing I said we didn't really want to do. It might actually come in handy here. I draw that, then we have 8, we have 6 buys. I think this works out, right? Let's do it. Draw that silver. Trash the copper. 8. Let's just double check our math. We got 6 buys. It's cost 8. Yeah, this should work. So Stonemason. Now, notably, you do have to overpay. So we can't, for example, overpay by 0 and get 2 Hamlets, because overpaying by 0 is just not overpaying. Otherwise, it'd be very easy to pile out. Like Stonemasons, we could gain 3 at a time for a 0 cost, and that would be wonderful. But this is the next best thing you can do. I think I just chose, like, these are both at 8. I think I just intuitively chose Throne Room over Moneylender because it's the card you naturally want to get a bunch of, but like, we just as easily could have bought all the Moneylenders. It doesn't really matter which one it is. Alright, key takeaways. Stonemason, still really good at piling out things. Quarry, also very good at piling out things. Scrying Pool, really good at drawing things. Yeah, where did they go awry? I'm not sure what they did wrong. I should have looked at their play before we exited. I mean, it looks like they're getting the same cards we are, just slower. Maybe we just got better draws. I didn't feel like we got particularly amazing draws. We did make that one mistake about triggering shuffle, so hopefully one instructive thing to take away from this is pay attention before you ever trigger a new shuffle. Sometimes you end up top decking a bunch of crap, and then you think, oh no, I got really unlucky, there's a bunch of crap on the top of my deck. In reality, it wasn't lack of luck, it was entirely your own fault. I did that, I shouldn't have done that, but at least I'm aware that it was me who did that. I think sometimes players see those bad cards, they think that it was just the hand of God telling them to go screw themselves, when in reality it was by their own design. Yep, that's all for this game.